All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. March 7th, 2022. We got 8 games on the NBA slate tonight, and we had ourselves a positive winning, positive night last night, going 4-2. We swept against the spread. We had the Wizards, the Thunder, and the Nuggets. That Nuggets game was a grind, going to overtime and covering. And we went 1-2 in the player prop field. So 4-2 overall. Definitely a positive night. And on that note, stay tuned for some merch. Speaking of merch, we do have some new merch up. Check out the link in the description. But positive night, we do have some positive merch coming pretty soon. Shout out to some of you guys in the comments that kind of inspired that. But let's jump into the ride of the day, because that was the one player prop that we hit last night, and it's coming from Gorilla Trap Music here. Hashtag ride of the day. I'll explain what that is in a second if you are new here. But he had Kevin Love over 2.5 threes. Kevin Love cashes it. Good odds on that one too. At least I got good odds on that. So that was a hit there. And if you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments and give me a player prop that I might be jumping on board. I pick one. We've done 2 before, so I don't know. I'm a wild card out here, but I pick one player prop in the comments and ride with one of you guys, and then you guys get a shout out, win or loss. You could get a womp womp, but if you're like Gorilla here, you get the applause. So shout out to Gorilla for hitting that weird one too. Kevin Love, 2.5 threes over. He hits it. So shout out there, because Kevin Love didn't play the most amount of minutes, didn't have the most amount of points, but hits 3 threes. So that is definitely a positive for sure. So shout out to Gorilla there. One last shout out for sure. Actually, one last applause. Why not? But guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. We are growing here. We are grinding. We are now not doing it on our phone. We're back to doing it at least in the studio here, so that's cool. But let's jump into today's video. Actually, you know what? I always got to get the hashtags of the day here too. So the hashtag of the day here, and it's coming from my man, Gotta Get the Bag. You guys know I love giving him the shout outs in the videos because he puts a lot of effort into this, which is great. This one, I mean, he almost predicted to a T. I feel like the only thing that we could say was wrong was that the result was different. The Rockets and the Grizzlies kind of flipped scores here, but he had under 237.5 and almost predicted the 233 there. The game finished at 235, so very good research when looking at pace of play and scoring and everything like that. So shout out to Gotta Get the Bag. We'll give an applause for that too. A lot of applause on today's video, but it is well warranted. That one hits there. If you guys don't know what the hashtag of the day is, make sure to stick around to the end of the video. It is a way that you guys could potentially get shouted out if you have a winning night, a positive night, a positive night. I'm gonna say positive in every video now, which I probably already said in every video, because we do have some positive merch coming out that I will share in a later video. And also, before we can get into it, guys, we do have a couple things, especially for just straight NBA fans and some Celtics fans, some more things coming to the channel that are going to be pretty exciting, at least in my opinion. So stay tuned for that, but let's get into it here. We'll get into the predictions. Guys, as you know, we go through each and every game. I give you what I'm thinking. I give you my lean on the game, but keep an eye on the pinned comment. That is where my final plays will be. You guys can see what I'm actually rolling with tonight. If you're smart, you will fade me. But if you're a genius, you will ride with my picks. But let's jump right into it here. We have the Pistons hosting the Hawks here. Pistons 7.5 point underdogs at home. This Hawks team, we know they have not been great on the road this entire season. In their last 5 away games, they're 1-4 against the spread. And this Pistons team's actually covering, which is kind of crazy. Herder's questionable, Hunter is questionable, and Okongwu is upgraded to probable. Detroit, I want to say they're playing good basketball, winning 3 of their last 4 games, but it's not against the best competition here. They beat Charlotte, which was a good win, lose to Washington, beat a banged-up Toronto team, and then beat Indiana. Atlanta, same position there. 3 out of the last 4, but not against the craziest competition. I don't love Atlanta on the road here. I think we might be crazy and lean Detroit in this game. This is a tough one. I will admit, looking at these games, doing the research, there's no games today that I absolutely love. I think I got a few player props on the horizon that I love a lot more, so definitely more of a reason to keep an eye on the pinned comment. But these games tonight, I don't love the numbers here, but we are going to lean the underdog here. Pistons plus 7.5. I would love to get that up to 9 if I were to buy a 1.5. Kills the odds, but I really do think the Pistons can kind of stay in this one. I think Atlanta ends up winning this game probably by like 6 or 7 points, but that's where it's tough for me because that number is right on the fence there. So I'm going to lean Pistons here. It's kind of a crazy play. I don't want to put too much confidence in you guys watching this video in that play, but it just seems like a little bit too much of a number for the Hawks to cover there when the Pistons, scarily enough, are playing decent against the spread basketball. 6-3-1 in their last 10 against the spread. Next up, we have the 6 or 7.5 point favorites at home against the Bulls. No Vucevic, or actually he's questionable, so he might play. Vucevic questionable. I think that is a big time thing to keep an eye on. This Chicago team was on a tear. They've now lost 4 straight, but to some decent competition: Memphis, Miami, Atlanta, Milwaukee. So don't discount the fact that they have truly had a tough go about here. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games, and against the spread overall, they are 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 games. So I still, if Vucevic plays, I think I'm going to lean another underdog here. I know how good Philly has been. Don't get me wrong. I know how good Philly has been. And they kind of had a shocking loss, I guess, to Miami, where they lose by 17, only score 82 points. So you think they come out firing. But if Vucevic is a go, if the Bulls are relatively healthy, I think that this Bulls team comes out and says, okay, we got to get out of this slump. So I'm going to lean another underdog, another big point underdog there. But it really comes down to that Vucevic. If Vucevic doesn't play, I think that this gets a lot harder for the Bulls, especially with Embiid. So I am going to lean Chicago with the caveat that Vucevic is in the lineup tonight. Next up, we have the Heat, 14.5 point favorites over the Rockets. Rockets got a shocking win yesterday against Memphis. So now the Rockets are 1-9 in their last 10 games. They're 4-6 against the spread. They are on a back-to-back. I would say 10 times out of 10, you lean Miami here. But why is that number so big? It is so tough. It makes sense. I'm not knocking the number. It's just preventing me from wanting to swing the bat and play that. So obviously, I'm going to lean Miami. The Rockets had like a championship moment last game against Memphis, which was yesterday, and they win that game. So I'm going to lean Miami here, having to win by 15 points, but that is just such a high number. You guys know how I feel about double-digit spreads in the NBA. One positive, one negative, I guess it's a net positive, maybe a net, neutral here, is that Kyle Lowry is downgraded to out, but Victor Oladipo upgraded to probable. So that could give a little spark to the Miami lineup here. But we are going to be leaning the Rockets. I think Miami does kind of get close to that number, but 14.5 points is so much. So keep an eye on the pin comment, guys. Like I said, I do not BS you on this channel, right? I do not BS you on this channel. If I don't feel like we have a good number or anything like that, I'm going to tell you which way I'm leaning, but I don't want you guys to take that as, gospel and then run with it and be like, oh, you said to pick that team. I keep it absolutely 100 with you guys, so keep that in mind. Next up, another ridiculous number, but I do like this one a little bit more than the last game. Timberwolves, 14.5 point favorites over the Portland Trailblazers here. This Trailblazers team had a little bit of a run where they won a few games in a row, but they're 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. And this Minnesota team straight up 7-3 and 6-3-1 against the spread. And at home, they're playing really good basketball here. At home, they're 4-2 straight up in their last 6 and 3-2-1 against the spread. The only injuries to note here: Edwards downgraded to doubtful. That's tough. Beverly questionable, Prince questionable, Reed questionable. But for Portland, they have everyone and their grandmother out, and we've seen that for a while here. So I do not hate that 14.5 point number. It's one that actually has a chance to be a final play, but I do want to keep an eye on that Timberwolves injury report because there's a couple questionable guys there that I want to keep an eye on. But I feel like this is going to be a player props night tonight, guys. I don't love many of these numbers. Next up, Spurs, 2-point favorites over the Lakers here. Spurs at home. That Lakers, came back and absolutely demolished. LeBron James just said, you know what, Warriors? Yeah, I'm going to dunk on you right now. He drops 50 plus on them, comes back and prevents the Warriors, one, from winning, definitely from covering. But I kind of feel like, and LeBron James is upgraded to probable, so it looks like he's going to play. I kind of feel like they ride that momentum if LeBron plays, because San Antonio looks like they could be without Bates, Diop, DeJounte Murray, and Vassell. DeJounte Murray is the only one that I would really be looking at, but he's questionable, and LeBron's upgraded to probable. If DeJounte Murray doesn't play, and LeBron does play, I like the Lakers as an underdog here. I think that they either carry that momentum into the next game, but if LeBron is out, I know he's probable right now, so he's probably playing, and DeJounte Murray plays, I do kind of flip my pick there into the Spurs, so keep an eye on the pinned comment. How many times am I going to say that in this video? Probably a million, but if LeBron plays and DeJounte doesn't, I think we're going to lean Lakers there +2. In fact, even if DeJounte plays and LeBron also plays, if everyone plays, I think we might be leaning Lakers to carry that momentum of a big win. Like, I've been saying it all year long. I'm a dummy. I know that. But I'm saying, at what point does LeBron just say, let me win some basketball games, right? When do I win basketball games? And he did that against the Warriors. So we're going to lean Lakers here for the most part. It's like a 75% lean. If DeJounte Murray plays and LeBron plays, I'm leaning Lakers. If DeJounte plays and LeBron doesn't play, I'm leaning Spurs. But if LeBron plays and DeJounte play, obviously we're leaning Lakers there. I hope that did not confuse anyone. Next up, Mavericks taking on the Jazz. Mavericks, a 1.5 favorite here. Luka's upgraded to Pro Bowl, so that is definitely a good sign there. Mavericks playing some good basketball. In their last 10, they are 8-2 against the spread. They're 3-2 at home against the spread. In their last 5, and then in their last 5, Utah in the last 5 against the spread, they're 1-4, and Utah is 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. They didn't cover last night. We're on the right side of that one. I think we lean Dallas again. Utah is at some point going to, I feel like, pick it up back to where they were a really good team, but they've had a lot of injury bugs. They haven't been covering as well as they did at the beginning of the year. They're 27-35-1 against the spread this season, which is so much different than their 40-23 record. We're going to lean Dallas here. It looks like Dallas is going to be relatively healthy. We want to keep an eye on Kleber and Brunson, but we're going to be leaning Dallas as of right now. I think that you're catching Utah in a good spot where they actually had a hard-fought game, which is crazy, against the Rumbling covering Thunder yesterday, but I think that Dallas catches Utah on a second night of a back-to-back here. That isn't all the best situation for Utah, so we're gonna lean Dallas. Next up, Nuggets, 8.5-point favorites against the Warriors. No Steph Curry tonight. That's obviously the most notable. No Klay Thompson. Green out. Wiggins out. Payton out. Iguodala out, so no one's really playing for the Warriors. I wish Denver didn't go to overtime last night because I would be all over this, but we are going to lean Denver -8.5 because nobody's playing for the Warriors. And in terms of Denver injuries, no notable injuries for them. So it kind of stinks that we have to, that we have to win by 9 points there. But the Warriors do have like nobody playing. This is going to be like a G League squad, I feel like, for the Warriors. So we're going to be leaning Denver there -8.5. All right, last game of the night, guys. Before we get to it, I'm going to ask you guys to please hit that subscribe button. We're growing. I can't wait to do a giveaway at 7K subscribers. We've done a few different giveaways on this channel, but I think we're going to be doing a giveaway of an NBA jersey of someone's choosing at 7,000 subscribers. We might think of something better. Who knows? But yeah, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and then stay tuned to the end of the video for your comment. Guys, there's 2 ways to be shouted out here. The hashtag of the day, which we'll get to in a second, and the ride of the day, which I already told you about with the player prop. But make sure to hit that subscribe button. I do appreciate it. Do not make me beg. Next up, we have the Kings, 3.5-point favorites over the Knicks here, and it is crazy. Yes, the Knicks just played yesterday, and they got mollywopped by the Clippers, but this Knicks team is still just so puzzling to me how bad they are. How many times you guys heard me say that in a video? It is crazy to me how bad they are. They're genuinely a bad team. It is so weird because they were supposed to be one of the better teams in the East, but they're just not playing good basketball whatsoever. So crazily enough, we're leaning Sacramento, and I hate betting Sacramento this year, but this is one where I think that, Sacramento at home, Knicks on a back-to-back, they just got stomped, leaning Sacramento all day long. So keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if it's a final play, but that's where we lean right now. So guys, that's going to do it for the predictions portion of the video. Make sure to check out the merch. We got more on the way as well. We have this Fade Me, which is very similar to a delivery service's font and colors. Just thought it'd be fun to throw that out there. And we do have the Fade or Ride hoodies that are selling like hotcakes right now. So shout out to you guys that are supporting the channel. But if you have any questions, about, okay, well, where do I get this? I can't find the link. DM me on Twitter at EvGuyBoston, EvGuyBoston. That was spelling bee worthy. That's an applause right there. But, all right, guys, let's move into the hashtag of the day here. If you don't know what the hashtag of the day is, all you got to use is #Wazitive. And the OGs know what Wazitive means. I'm probably going to say it in the description of this as well. But #Wazitive in the comments. Give me what the rundown of your plays tonight. You could have a million plays. You could have 2 plays, 1 play. If you guys have a winning night, a positive night, and I believe Wazitive started from the fact that I just accidentally mixed those 2 words. But if you have a Wazitive night, a winning and positive night, your pockets get a little bit heavier, you got some more green in your pockets, you guys have a chance to be shouted out in tomorrow's video. So use hashtag Wositive in the comments, and we'll throw this up just so you guys can see it. This is how it can work. You can have one play, just like Gotta Get the Bag. Yesterday's hashtag was hashtag mobile, and he hits and he gets a shout out there. And let's go. We got a hashtag down here, and we're about to, you know how we do it. Hashtag overload, hashtag Wositive in the comments for the hashtag of the day. And if you have a player prop that you want me to jump on, use hashtag ride of the day. You can use them in the same comments, everything like that. But I do pick one ride of the day usually and jump on board with you guys, and I let you know, and then you guys get a shout out either way, win or loss. So hashtag of the day, Wositive in the comments if you guys want to give me your rundown of plays, and if you have a positive night, you guys got a chance to be shouted out in tomorrow's video. And yeah, let's close this one out. I feel like this is a long video. Maybe we talk too much basketball in these games. Sometimes we run through it quick, sometimes we run through it slowly, but it is what it is. I'm just doing me on the camera here. All right, I'm starting to not be able to speak, so I should probably close down shop. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hopefully everyone makes some bread tonight. And yeah, as always, peace out.